Right, okay, there's a bit of a lag on here. Bit of a lag, so I've got to wait a minute, I don't know. Anyway, so I've been on Zorin OS 17 on the actual host machine, computer as in, not the virtual machine, since January 2024, and I've had no problems. Well, I've had some minor problems. And I just wanted to say something about it. I mean, when you add up all of the problems that you get on Windows with all the antivirus software, firewalls, oh shit, right, when you add up all of those things that you have to add onto Windows, you end up with a really laggy system. Everything's slow. You end up with stutter and audio problems, crashing, all sorts of things conflicting with each other. But because, I mean, I've just got to say, I mean, my first impressions with Linux is, because it's got an interface just very similar to Windows. It's Zorin OS 17. I mean, it's very easy to adapt to it, because I mean, there's so many things you can do. I mean, it works in a different way. I mean, for example, let me show you something. You see all these shortcuts on the desktop, all these shortcuts here, right? Normally on Windows, you right click on something, you right click on a shortcut and you send to desktop as a shortcut. Well, you don't do that on Linux. You right click on something and well, a program. You right click on a particular program and you just click add to desktop, and it's there. Right, hang on, it's, where is it? Somewhere around. Well, there it is. I think that's it there. I just added it. LibreOffice. Right, if we go back, utilities. Oh, is it programming, wasn't it? Yeah. So if you right click, see it behind the window there at the top. If you right click on it, you just click on remove from desktop, and now it's gone. But it's a different animal basically, but it works great. I mean, you can add your shortcuts just the same, just as easily. Now, there's only one little thing I found out. I need to point this out. You know the little tray down at the bottom here, this menu bar? If you right click on it and you click on taskbar settings, right, and you close that. Was it this one down here? Only hide the panel where it is obstructed by wind. Oh no, it's like this one. Right. Turn that off. Now it's hidden. Right? You see the little bar at the bottom disappears. Okay, so now if I try to remove that shortcut, we go to programming, and I go to right click and remove it. It disappears. I can't do it. So the bug's still there. Right? There's a bug. Right? So if I try to remove that shortcut now, programming, right click on it to remove it, it disappears before I have a chance to click on it. Okay, so the bug is still there. I wanted to tell you about that. So I turn only hide the panel when it is obstructed by Windows. I turn that back on again. Now when I go to programming and click on Libre PCB, now I can remove it from desktop. Right, okay, so the bug is still there. I wanted to tell you about this because it's a big problem if you have your taskbar auto hiding. So I'll put it back onto auto hide, so it disappears until I bring my mouse down the bottom of the screen. Right, so there's a bug there, just so you know. So if you come across this situation, you think, oh, I can't add my shortcuts to the desktop because when I go to click on anything it just disappears. Well, now you know why. It's the only hide the panel when it's obstructed by Windows problem. Yeah, but it's not a big issue as long as you know how to fix it. I actually found out about it the other day. But generally speaking, I'm really happy with Linux. It's great as long as you know how to get around these problems. I mean, they're only minor problems, not major problems, you know. But I have also noticed another problem on the other Linux system, because I've got more than one. I have another partition, another SSD drive, and on that one I installed. Let's put this back on again. So I like to leave it on actually. I like to see my taskbar, you know, I can see what notifications are coming up down here and all that. But on the other system, I installed VirtualBox, right? And on VirtualBox, anyway, so there was a problem on VirtualBox. Now, I installed the VirtualBox on the other system, and every time I try to install OBS, which is this thing down here, which is what's running right now, every time I tried to install it, it wouldn't work. It was messed up. I'm not sure why, but OBS on the other system won't work now. I can't get it to work. So needless to say, I didn't install VirtualBox on this system because I didn't want to have the same problem. But everything else works great. I mean, everything else, I haven't noticed any other problems. I mean, nothing that I can't live with, you know. I could go into my YouTube channel and do my video encoding and everything else. And my Caden Live is brilliant for editing videos. It's awesome, really. I mean, I can set my default configuration for when I want to edit videos. I can click on a saved default template, basically, which has got my startup Autoria thingamajig, and got a startup sound file at the beginning, which I actually took out because it's still in my list. Like, I can add it back there if I want, so I can put the audio file back in there whenever I want to use it. It's just that annoying thing that people don't really like, so I have to play it. So I'm getting a bit of lag because you've got to make this smaller, otherwise it just tends to stutter a bit. So that's when I usually add my videos on into the playlist, and then I save it as something else. So that's what I use for my video editing stuff. And I've got a different thumbnail there. And so anyway, I just wanted to say a few things about it. I mean, it works really well. It's going to ask me to save it now. Oh, I might as well save it. But anyway, it's fast. It's not slow like Windows. And yeah, I've got my FileZilla in there for my FTP, but I couldn't get the FTP to work on because of me. It's my router. It's the router that's the problem. But I think the globalists, whatever, they don't want us to use FTP anymore, so I don't know what it is, but I can't seem to get it to work properly. They've said it's out of date, or it's defunct, or it's whatever they want to call it. It's legacy. But I love my FTP. I mean, it's not a security threat if you're on Linux. I mean, it might be if you're on Windows, but not on Linux. But and I've got my Signal, which links to my phone. That's really cool. I can start that up and talk to my friends on there. I've only got one. I think I've only got Dave on there actually. I've only got my friend Dave. He's got a common name anyway, so. Lots of Daves and lots of Mr. Jones in the world. So yeah, and I mean, look at the resources on here. I mean, look at that. I am actually recording video right now, and look at my CPU. It's at what, 7%. 7%, and I've only got 273 processes running right now. Click on there. If you go on Windows, oh my god, you're probably talking about millions of processes or thousands of processes. Well, I mean, yeah. Why do people give Linux such a hard time when it's so much easier to use now than it used to be? You can look at all your services that are running in the background. I use this little program to show everything, and the system, it shows you what my system is, what my hardware is, and all that. But I like the performance settings because it tells me what my swap file is. I increased my swap file to 8 gigabytes, by the way, because I've got 8 gigabytes of RAM. Then there's sensors, it shows you what the temperatures are. My GPU, it tells me what my GPU is doing, which is pretty much not a lot at the moment because I'm not running Second Life right now. I'm just running, all I'm doing is recording a video right now, that's all. If I was a few years ago when I was when Second Life still worked on XP, right? When Second Life was still working on Windows XP, I was using the same hardware, the same memory, the same everything, and it was really bad. It was laggy. I had graphical stutter. Mind you, in saying that, my internet was really bad then as well. I had really, yeah, absolutely terrible internet, and it only seemed to work best at night time anyway. But now I've got this new fibre optic internet. That's improved things a lot, so I can't say it's all to do with Linux, but a lot of things are a lot better on Linux anyway. I mean, yeah, it's made life a lot easier. I mean, it doesn't take 5 minutes to reinstall it as well. I mean, you're not farting about with flipping registration and activation and antivirus. I do have a firewall, so I've got a firewall. If you go, it's called the, in the search bar at the bottom left, just type firewall and press enter. I have to log in, so that's good. I mean, it's protection to prevent anyone from outside from messing with your system, which is brilliant. On Windows, you're either logged in as administrator or you're logged in as an ordinary user. Well, in Linux, it's not quite the same thing. You're generally speaking, you're always logged in as a generic user. But when you want to change or do anything that's administrator level, you just put your password in. You don't have to log out and log back in as an administrator. So much easier. Anyway, I mean, yeah, on Windows, that's my firewall anyway. On Windows, you have to, oh God, I need to log out and log back in as administrator. Oh, what a load of hassle. You got something going in the background, you're doing something, you think, oh shit, I've got to wait for this to finish before I can do that. Well, you do it on Linux, you can just put your password in. So much easier. A lot less hassle. Yeah, so I just want to say I am so happy that I changed over to Linux, and Zorin is just cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm still learning it. I mean, I don't know everything about it. I mean, we've even got TeamSpeak on here. I've got TeamSpeak on here now, which is not going to log on to anything because I'm not running my server right now. You can log on to global. Let's see, you can connect to
connected. User entered your channel.
Hang on, cancel that, because you can go to
user entered your channel. User disconnected from your channel. Was moved out of your channel. User entered your channel.
You can go into public chats on the internet.
User entered your channel. User entered your channel. User was moved out of your channel. User entered your channel.
You get a lot of that.
Disconnected from your channel.
A lot of people come on here.
User entered your channel.
Temporarily.
User entered your channel. Disconnected.
Right, I can't be asked to go there. I really can't. I just love my Discord. My Discord is where I hang out with my friends. So much less hassle. I mean, you go onto these public servers and oh my God, it's a freaking nightmare. There's people coming in and out, or like user connected, user disconnect, user connected, user disconnect. Oh, go away. No, I'll go into my spiritual stuff. There's witchy whispers. I like to go in there. She has all this cool stuff. She puts all the shows online in Second Life. So this is Witchy. She does all the cool dances and singing and everything else. So that's Witchy. She's really cool. I love going to Witches, but I'm so busy lately. I haven't got time. Everyone wants me to make some videos for them now, you know. There's books. She shares her books on lots of books and stuff for yourself. There's all sorts of other stuff that I probably should be putting on here. And then there's Rice Tyler. Let's see. He's got his concert announcements. He's singing his rock music. Lots of stuff going on there. So I'd join up with a few friends, few people where we don't have people popping in all the time, in and out, concert announcements. And I posted some of my videos I recorded for him actually on his channel. He said I could do that, so that's fine. So there's Rice Tyler live. That's when he's in Second Life. He does a lot of cool stuff on stage. Go and check him out in Second Life. There he is again. Lots of thumbnails for all his shows that he's doing. And then I just hang out with a different channel, obviously. These are all different channels, right? I go to my Open Source Energy, where we talk about energy and machines and all sorts of other stuff. We go there, we do our plot, poodle and pew and stuff in there. And Ken was sharing about the difference between American-made hammers and Chinese hammers, and yeah, the Chinese ones just don't stand up to the test. Yeah. So anyway, we talk about all sorts of stuff. Loads and loads of stuff. And Halloween's coming, isn't it? So Halloween is around the corner. So yeah, everything works. I don't have problems with it crashing. I've never actually had a crash on Linux, apart from occasionally because of a network problem there might be a timeout, and they don't give you a blue screen of death. When things crash on Linux, what usually happens is it just closes the program and you get a box that says this program is not responding, wait, or close program. So usually that's what I do. But I did initially have a problem where Linux was freezing up on me, and I'll explain how I solved that. What happened was Linux was it kept freezing up when I was in Second Life, and I didn't know what was going on, and it turned out that my swap file was too small. It was 2 GB. So I had 8 GB of RAM and 2 GB swap file. Well, you need a swap file at least equal to what your RAM is, right? So I increased my swap file. There's some help files on the internet. You can, let's see, go to, right, let's see, increase swap file on Linux. You can go to these websites. How to increase swap space in Linux. Right, there's loads of help files, and it tells you how to do it. You just have to search it. What is a swap space? Well, we know what that is. And there's loads of help files that tell you how to do it. You can just increase your swap file. Once you do that, I had no problems. It didn't crash anymore. And see how fast that was as well. I didn't have to wait around 10 hours for it to load. There's other let's have a look. That's not the one I went to originally. I think this might be that might be the one I went to. Let's have a look. Right, I cleared all my cache recently, so I'm getting lots of requests for. So there's command lines for doing it. You just search, find out how to do it. You have to basically do that, which is you turn your swap file off temporarily, make sure you've got nothing running. Then you use sudo allocate, whatever, you change it to what you want. I set mine to 8 gig, but that one's 4 gig there. Sudo mk swap file. There's a load of command lines how to increase your swap file, and that's what I did. It worked for me. I've had no more issues, but sometimes I go to places and you know this little thing here, it says there swap 0%. That means I'm not using any swap file space right now. I'm using 46% RAM, but when I'm in Second Life, this swap file thingamajig round here on the speedometer thing, I've seen it as high as 80%, 90%, and when it gets to 90% swap file space used and you've got RAM of 99% or 100% RAM used, that's when you need to be careful. You know, you need to back off a bit, turn your settings down, you know, in Second Life, or restart it. But I've not actually had a crash. I've had some issues where it's lagged out on me, because when it's lagging out, it's because it's dumping stuff out of the memory into the swap file, and that's when you have laggy issues, because it's moving data around out of memory and back into memory, and that's when I start seeing things happen that are a little bit unsettling, but it doesn't crash, you know, it just lags out on me. So yeah, we get that sort of situation occasionally. But anyway, I'm going to go, because I've been making a video about what I think about Ubuntu Zorin 17 Linux.